No gold is not in her. She's a diamond.
So as promised, I said I'd do a very quick meditation for you. It will be less than 10 minutes long, but you just want to extend that time in some way. So I will give you the format in this guided meditation. So firstly, you want to get yourself in a comfortable position. And while you're in that comfortable position, you want to take all of your attention to the breath. And this will be the in-breath and the out-breath. And so you will focus that a lot of the time. So I focus on the in-breath and I focus on the out-breath. And once you've done this a number of times, I just want you to over-check your body. Is there any tensions there in the neck or in the shoulders? And if there is, you just want to manually set those down. This is a perfect time for you to start getting into this routine of finding your own space that you're comfortable in. If you like sitting with your legs crossed, then that's absolutely fine. If you need both feet on the floor, or you need to turn your arms or cross your arms, also, that is also fine. And then whenever your mind starts to wander, you kind of want to just focus yourself back on the in-breath and then on the out-breath. Just get that nice rhythm going for yourself. And now we're going to have a visual start to appear. And through this visual, I want you to see yourself sitting within your chair. And all of the surroundings will just fade away. It's almost like a blank canvas for you. And to maintain this visual, just always focus on the breath when your mind starts to wander. Now in the first place, you want to focus on the detail of where you are. And in this instance, you're going to be sat upon a bench in a park on a nice warm day. And start to take in all that detail, the clouds in the sky, the warmth, the wind, the shade, the detail of the bench, the bark of the trees. Are there people around? Are there people walking dogs? All of these things, all of the details, the sounds, the sensations and the visuals. And this is a nice workout for the clairs that you're trying to enhance. So the clairaudience, the hearing, the clairsentience, the feeling, and the clairvoyance, the seeing. There are more, but they'll be covered in later videos. Just really feel yourself upon that bench. And just as that mind wanders, taking all your attention back to the breath. And it's at this point that you'll be aware that someone is stood behind you. They're not directly behind you, but they're not too far away. You don't need to see this person's face. You don't even need to know who it is. You can just feel the love and the warmth coming from this person behind you. So it feels familiar. It feels like you already know them. You're also aware that they start to draw themselves closer towards you. They can stand directly behind you, and if you're comfortable, they may place a hand upon your shoulder. It's at this moment that I always check the energy. I use a measuring stick to feel what it feels like while they're in my energy. And then just in my mind, I ask them to step back a little. And once again, I check the energy. How does it feel when they're close to me? And how does it feel while they're a little distance away? then I invite them to place their hand upon my shoulder once again. Drawing my attention back to my breath. I then offer them the place beside me on the bench. It's at this point that you'll invite them round, and this is just a thought that goes with that. They can stay at one end of the bench. And again, this needs no face, this needs no label. You don't have to look at them. But equally, the offer is there to look and understand who that person is. This may be just a light to you. This may be someone that you recognise. Understand it's the avatar that your mind requires. Then as the time passes on, I invite them to draw themselves a little bit closer, to slide themselves along that bench. Every now and again, check in how it feels within my energy. To the point where they're sat right beside me. Feel for the love, feel for the compassion, feel for the nurturing and the guidance, them wanting to help you in this scenario. To build your confidence. Once again, checking all the markers. And then if you're really comfortable with that, you can invite them to place a hand upon your knee or put an arm around you. Again, checking all the markers. It's at this point when you become really comfortable with the company that you're keeping, that you take in the conversation again. You take in the detail that surrounds you. You may hear their voice. They may be saying nothing. So use this time to take in the visuals, take in the sounds and the sensations. Equally, you may have a conversation with this person. And this is a time of what you may need to know, what your team or your guide want you to know today. Again, just spending as much time as you need in this area. And then as this time draws to a close, I then just ask them to slip back to the other side of the bench. I ask them to make their way back behind me. And then I invite them to take that small step back. And while I do all of these mechanics all of the time, I check the energy. I check how this feels. I check how it makes me feel. And then as that image disperses away from my mind, I draw my mind back to my own surroundings within the room that you're in. Focusing on my chair, where my arms are. Drawing all my attention to take a deep breath in and to take a deep breath out. And then I wiggle my fingers and I wiggle my toes for what is known as a grounding effect. And this is just to bring your attention back to the room. You are usually invited to take a sip of water at this time because it's the most grounding activity that we have as a physical person, to swallow. So there may be something there for you to take from it. There may be something that you don't like at all. It's one of those exercises that in your own time you'll lengthen the periods in between. You can spend 15, 30, 45, an hour in this area. It's entirely up to you. It was just for something to practice with, to get to know a member or your guiding influence of your team. Thanks for watching.
And I'll go